Extreme Megaman X4. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
What is going on, y'all?
Yeah, welcome to the Extreme.
That is correct. My name is Zach.
My name is Joey.
And this is a podcast where we play through video game soundtracks.
That is true.
My man, Joey.
My man, Zach. How's it going?
It has been crazy at work, my dude.
Oh, yeah?
I could not be happier to be diving back into Mega Man and blow off some stress.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's a perfect place to do it.
And it's fantastic. You can live out your fantasies of wielding a beam saber and cutting in robots with no feelings in half. So you don't have to worry about empathizing with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yay, violence. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah?
I'm enjoying the sunshine.
Yes, it's finally turning. Thank the Lord.
For those of you in North America, you will be on the same page as us.
Yes, unless you live in a place with microclimates or something like that, which I learned of maybe a year ago when I visited friends in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's a big thing apparently. It's microclimates. Are you familiar with this?
No?
So microclimates are basically you go to like a different part of the city and it's completely different weather.
Right.
Like it could be raining in the north part or like super sunny in the south. And it's like maybe like 10 minutes, within 10 minutes of each other. It's like, it's ridiculous.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I honestly thought at first it sounded very like West Coasty.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you make this word up? Is this another word like lumbersexual? Is that a thing?
Did you just make that up now?
No, they also said that was a thing.
Lumbersexual.
Yeah.
Are they like attracted to wood?
No, I don't know. I think it's like a hipster who wears a plaid shirt, jeans, and has like facial hair. Because that's exactly what I had on when somebody called me that.
That sounds just like a Canadian.
Yeah, that's what I just have in my like inherent Canadian clothing arsenal. It's like given to us at birth. you keeps growing with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, man.
Yeah, man.
So let's jump into the podcast.
Yeah.
So before, you know what? Let's first recap what we did last week.
Last time, we of course did some Cyber Peacock.
That is correct. We dove deep into the network.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the privilege of fighting Jet Stingray.
The pleasure was mostly ours.
Yeah.
Partially
But
his.
we didn't learn a lot about his history.
Yeah, sorry guys, that was my bad. I forgot to do that. I know probably some of you were bummed. But you know what? We're going to make up for it right now.
Let's do it.
With an early internet backstory.
Internet backstory.
Yeah, check it.
Right.
That's so early. We're starting off with internet backstory. Okay.
It's gonna be a good episode.
All right. So Jet Stingray, known as Jet Stingren in Japan, is a Stingray-based member of Reploids, who dedicated his military career. He's dedicated to his military career. He worked his way up the ranks and became a member of Reploids' Navy. He had great respect for both the General and Colonel, so when General announced his move for the Reploid independence, there were no questions to where his loyalties lay. When the coup began, as a diversion, he attacked a city's underground power station, creating chaos to draw the Maverick Hunters. Another fucking diversion! Another
They all
one!
just do diversions.
Yeah, like, I think there were more diversions than there were actual, like, tactical maneuverings by... Yeah, there were more diversions than there were versions. Oh, man. By the way, his surname is Aqua Destroyer.
Cool.
which is fantastic.
I like it.
Let me double check to see what else I got here. He made an appearance in the Archie comics, released to fight the aforementioned Sonic the Hedgehog when he teamed up with Megaman. I still need to find those comics on the cheap, but if anybody knows, tweet at us, and I'd love to know, because I want to read the shit out of these. Maybe like a pack. Anyway, so a little trivia here. Let's see. His original Japanese lines painted him as eloquent and boastful, making no implications of hiding, and instead impressed X could catch up to his speed. His lines included, "With the pride of my army, I shall obliterate you," and "I have seen jellyfish made of sterner stuff," and "Farewell, may you fade alongside the ocean debris." Why didn't they just keep those?
That's so poetic.
Yeah, like, fuck, dude, that's awesome. Yeah. I'd rather you be like, it sounds like, if this internet backstory is to be wholly believed, that fits your character better, because you're, like, proud of being in the Navy and proud of, like, being an officer.
Yeah.
Like, the other one was like, you were like a hitman or a thug or something. Where it's like, ah, shit, you found me. This one, I like this one better, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
But that's all I got for Jet Stingray. So I just wanted to make sure we covered that before we moved on. But that was Internet Backstory.
Internet Backstory. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, feeling a little bit better now.
Cool.
So, let's move into this. We have no other options. Time to jump into the spaceport. And
it's happening.
Let's
hover.
Sure. Let's hover delicately into position so that we're ready for docking.
Take go.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's
go.
Fuck. Guys, I need help. I need more
get
pun
your boarding
juice.
passes out.
You need to raise your hands in the air and give me your pun energy. Or your punergy.
Punergy, oh shit.
Okay, I feel the punergy. You know what? If I don't think of one after the stage, I'll think of one then.
You could tweet it if you think of it later.
Done. All right. Let's jump into the spaceport.
Or tweet at us, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
If you think of one.
It's the extreme.
And the best one will showcase next episode.
Yeah, cool. We'll talk about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea. Please do that.
Right.
All right. But yeah, let's go to the spaceport.
right.
Welcome back, you sexy, sexy people.
Oh my god.
So sorry. Supposed to take that as a compliment.
It was.
This isn't. I'm not at work anymore. I'm not gonna get a
You can
workplace
say
violation for
whatever you
saying
want
that.
now.
Yes.
Shitty ball sacks. I say that at work too.
Ah, damn it. That's no different then. But we did it, guys. We took down the first part of the spaceport here.
Yep.
And sadly, we took down our good friend, the Colonel.
Oh, Colonel.
But
I'll
before
miss
we
you.
talk about the Colonel, let's talk a little bit about the spaceport itself.
All right.
So this music gave me hives.
Hives.
I was so stressed.
Like, not even goosebumps. It's like the next level.
No, we've jumped up a level and now I have hives. It's very stressful music.
Yeah, I liked it though.
Yeah, I like the synth forward, honestly. Like the synth music in the front sounds awesome
Yeah.
and it's bumping as hell. But that backbeat, yo, is giving me a fucking heart attack. It's so intense.
Yeah. Rightfully so, though.
Rightfully so. I mean, this is an urgent time.
Yeah.
Zero and X are not fucking around anymore.
Yeah. And
They're
the
down-
background is like super cool.
Yeah, they're here to take down these giant flying hammerhead shark-looking ships,
Yeah.
which is an interesting choice of
Yeah.
design.
I don't know why they decided that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because the design is more aerodynamic.
No, they're spaceships. They don't have to be aerodynamic.
That's a good point. But I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they were just like they had a drawing from a hat, and they were like, "All right, let's just put a bunch of animals in a hat, not actual animals, like names of animals in a hat, and we'll pick a name, and that's what we're gonna stick with because nobody can decide." And then they put their hand in, and a hammerhead shark came out of the hat, and they're like, "What the actual fuck?"
Oh yeah, this is gonna be an epic spaceship.
That would be pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we move through the stage here, it's pretty much standard enemies that we've seen before. The enemies with berets that have guns and shoot at you. Spiked enemy balls, like the ones we've seen throughout all the X games.
Right.
But I mean, there's a part actually where there's just a corridor with like the bouncing spike balls
Yeah.
who are spinning around with their spinning stupid spike balls of death.
A lot of dodging.
I don't think they've seen my Kuenzon because I'm the only spinning ball of death here as Zero. I'm
Nice.
way more powerful. Beam Saber beats Metal any day.
Oh yeah, of course.
I am the real king of the mountain. I am the Alpha and the Zero Omega.
Zero is before Alpha.
You're right. Shit. So yeah. I don't know. That's okay. So then we move on to another section here. It's a little bit of a tower climbing section
Yeah.
with kind of giving me vibes of Boomer Quanger's stage, honestly,
Of course,
from X1. Just because the like stage design, it's like if you condensed a Boomer Quanger section,
Yeah.
because like the platforms are a little closer together.
True.
Um,
So
but,
the balls, so the spiky balls could like jump on them.
Exactly. So it's making more of a obstacle for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I was definitely getting major flashbacks there. And then you get to the top, and you are at the boss.
That was fast.
I know. There's not really much to talk about in the stage. We're getting to that point where the stages kind of don't
Yeah.
matter, where they're just kind of vehicles to get you to a boss.
Yeah, normal kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much normal Mega Man fare. They really put a lot of their effort into the first 8
Yeah.
stages and then kind of make hallways with enemies in them, so to
Right.
speak. But I guess we'll see. Maybe our opinions of that will change as it goes on here.
Yeah.
But for now, we gotta talk about the Colonel, and he's a fucking, like, holy shit, is he a fucking Jedi? Like, this entrance is so crazy epic.
Yeah.
Like, lightning shoots down from the sky and then apparates him into existence where he's standing there holding the beam saber into the air where the lightning has struck, and he's just fucking right there.
Did he, like, come from the lightning?
I don't know. What is this? He's a wizard or something. Did he apparate here? What the actual fuck?
Who knows?
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's epic.
Holy God. And they have equally epic dialogue between the two of them, for Zero and Colonel. So Zero implores Colonel to step aside because he's being a dummy. And Colonel eloquently says, in not so many words, no. And Zero then says, Iris will be sad if you die. Not quite in those words.
Yeah.
But he's basically saying that. And Colonel also, I'm also paraphrasing, says, fuck you fam, save it till after you beat me.
He should have just said that.
I think my paraphrasing might make it a little better, in my opinion. You guys get the point, right? So there's that. And then the fight occurs, and we have a little bit of actual, like, spoken dialogue from Colonel.
It's like a first, I think.
Yeah, for the stages itself, to have bosses actually say full-on sentences to you, completely new.
Yeah.
And he has one of 3 lines here, which I'm going to try and do in my best Australian accent, or at least I'm going to give as much due as the actual designers of X4 did when they thought of an Australian accent.
I'm excited for this.
So, I've been waiting to fight with you.
That was better. You did better there than the game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope so. And then, I'll show you no mercy. Now get ready. I think I'm doing more like Cockney Australian.
Yeah.
But I feel like Colonel would be more like classy Australian. Like, then he's got like, show me what you've got.
Show me what you've got.
Okay, I think I fully transitioned to Cockney British.
Show me what you've got.
I'm sorry. Nice. Wait, you give it a go. I want to hear like your legit go.
Australian?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do Australian.
Come on, you got this. Show me what you've got.
Show me what you got.
Okay, that was good.
It's British. I just do British.
Well, I mean, it was a British colony, so there's tinges of British. So, that's not bad. I like it.
Show me what you got, mate.
There you go. You gotta add the mate. That's what made it.
Yeah.
That's what made it.
Oh.
Oh, thanks, guys. You kept your hands raised, so I'm getting a little more pun energy. But yeah, and then as the fight begins, we get a little bit more a new boss music theme, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I always loved like the new boss themes.
Yeah, they really add a new sense of hype to the actual fight. They kind of really distinguish that you're not just fighting Mavericks anymore, you're fighting really important people.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Totally.
And then Colonel absolutely must be a Jedi or something, because he does literal teleporting and phasing in and out of reality? I don't know, to like fight you. But like, he does obviously laser slashes that shoot energy beams at you. He'll just try and straight up hit you with his energy beams. But like I said, he'll teleport, which is really cool looking, by the way. And then he'll just like phase, like where he doesn't quite teleport out, but he's like shifting his being to a different part of the stage.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
I guess.
Like he doesn't disappear. He's just like phasing to a different point.
Right.
In the stage.
Or just like moving so quickly that you can't even see.
You're like seeing his after image or something.
Right.
Like fucking Dragon Ball or something.
Yeah.
And then he has some special moves that he actually yells out loud when he activates them. So he has got the energy breaker,
Energy breaker.
where he summons lightning again from the skies, slams his sword into the ground, which disperses the lightning, which then shoots back up into the air.
Right.
Which is a great move to cover a lot of ground.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be very careful about how you dodge that.
And glad it doesn't all happen at the same time, so you can dodge it if
Yes,
you
it's-
know it.
It's very convenient that they stagger out the attack like that for you. But I actually really liked this fight, and it was very stressful, at least at the end for me. Just because of all the teleporting. I'm not great with teleporting bosses, because I don't take the time to think about how long they're going to be teleporting for.
Yeah.
I just kind of do it on gut feel,
Right.
which is kind of on me, but you know what?
It's your
Whatever.
only weakness.
It's my only weakness, is not caring as much as I probably should. But I like the fight. It's very well done. It's kind of the fight I would want to have with Colonel, honestly.
Yeah.
Considering we had a fight with him before.
Right.
And this is like the next logical step where he's like going more all out.
Totally.
But after
looks
you... What?
And the fight looks cool in general.
Agreed, and the fight looks very cool. It'll... Hopefully, I'm pretty sure it'll show up well in the YouTube video.
Yeah.
After you beat him, you get some post-battle dialogue
Oh, yeah.
between them. And shall I read you my paraphrase notes again?
Yes, please.
All right. So Colonel says, "Impressive, but you're too slow." And Zero's like, "What?" Colonel says, "Reploid force is in space."
In space.
In space! And Zero's like, "Colonel?" And Colonel's like, "Tell Iris that her brother died happily. Bye, Zero!" And just proceeds to explode. Like, I don't... Apparently
Great.
people in the hallway think I'm pretty funny, too.
Oh, I'm excited for this video.
Yeah, my dude, it's gonna be funny. But yeah, like, very interesting dialogue here. I think they were just trying to say, like, I've met my match, and it was good to fight someone as skilled as you, and if ever I was gonna go down, it's to someone as strong as you.
Yeah.
So,
That
fair
was
enough.
nice of him.
He has a warrior's death.
Yeah.
But then you transport back out into Hunter HQ,
Yes.
and they're basically saying, "Yo, they're in space, you need to get out there."
Yeah, they're in space now.
And Zero, I think we diverge a little bit on the dialogue, because Zero says, like, where the fuck did Iris go? Did she leave for space too? And then he's like, "Don't do this to me, Iris," because he's sensitive about that. Did X say stuff?
Yeah.
Did X say words with his mouth?
At the base, you mean? Like, headquarters?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's like... So he's there with Double.
Okay.
Course. He's
Cool.
like, watch the ship for me, or whatever. I'm gonna go after them in space.
Okay.
Double's like, no, reconsider it. It's far too dangerous. And Nick's like, oh, we don't have any other option.
He has no
I'm
choice.
leaving you in charge here, Double.
The greatest idea.
Yeah. Very thought out.
Yes. Very well. The X being a bit naive, if you will. Or naive for those of you who live in reality. But that's pretty cool, man. All right. And that was it. That was the spaceport.
Yes, it was.
But now it's time for a quick episode of a podcast within a podcast within a podcast within a podcast.
Within a baseball field. What?
It's Internet Backstory!
Internet backstory.
Yeah! So, we just finished off the Colonel, so we have to give this man his time in the limelight.
Oh, yeah.
So, Colonel, or he doesn't have a Japanese name, Colonel, is the main attack leader of Reploids, and Iris's overprotective big brother. His ultimate flaw is his pride of Reploforce, and he is very oblivious to the effects of his actions. He simply does what he sees is best for reploids, but does not realize that Repliforce has been manipulated by a former and constant nemesis of the Maverick Hunters. Who could it be? We already know. It told us in the beginning. Colonel is a tall, serious-looking Reploid. His height is so great that he dwarfs X in the cutscenes. Fair enough. Joey, vamp for me while I look for things. Nice. Thank you for that. But the Colonel made a brief cameo in the Archie comics, along with Iris, apparently, as the Maverick Hunters teamed up with Sonic to fight Sigma. And God, I really need to read this fucking manga. It makes no fucking sense. Yeah, Jesus. A little bit of pieces of trivia. Colonel, along with his sister, speaks in an Australian accent. Yeah. Thanks, trivia. God damn it. There's like trivia here for other games, and I don't want to spoil that.
Okay.
So.
All right. Leave it.
I'll just leave it for now. There's not too much else here. I'm looking. Yeah, no, guys, I'm sorry. There's not a ton here on Colonel for what we got.
That's cool.
That was fine, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Another episode of Internet Backstory. And now we jump into the next stage, the final weapon. The final weapon!
Okay.
If you're a kung fu master.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know? It's like Bruce Lee, when he's like, "Whatcha?" He's actually saying, "Weapon!" Yeah, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be a kung fu master, just say weapon. But that's it. Before we jump in here with the next segment of music.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're doing a lot shorter now.
Yeah, well, it was only one little episode, one little level, you know? It's just
That's
basically
true.
a boss.
No, that's true. It was basically like a hallway and a boss.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll win a boss.
Fair enough. You know what? Sometimes we need a little bit of shortness in our lives.
Yeah, you gotta keep it
Keep it light. Keep it brief.
varied
Brevity.
up, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Brevity is sometimes appreciated. Unlike what we're doing now to lengthen it out. And clearly are not abiding by our own thoughts. So
Well, if you want to get into it.
let's debate. No. So let's head to the final weapon
Yeah.
and show it what we're made of.
Whoop-on!
Weapon! Alrighty, guys.
That was it.
The final weapon is still not taken care of. Shit, we're not done here.
It just started going off.
It just started going off.
We'll get to that.
Yes, we will. What the fuck is going on here? So the final weapon is a bunch of pulsating cores and vein-looking tubes, like in the background.
That's very descriptive of you.
Thank you. I try to paint a mental picture for you guys, so that you can see with your mind's eye as you listen,
or just watch the video,
or do that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting in the background there. A lot of pulsating lights. A lot of data. I say that with air quotes. It's data?
Like some sort of, like, biological data.
Something like that, yeah. And holy hell, man, the bassist is going ham on this song, and I fucking love it. They really let him shine with that solo. I don't know, I love it when, like, the bassist kind of gets their time in the sun.
Yeah.
Because, like, lead guitar always gets front billing for obvious reasons.
Right.
But, like, sometimes when they just, like, have a good bassist and he just goes ham on that bass.
Yeah, it's
fucking
always a good
time. But as we go through this stage here, we have really just two enemies that we both have seen before. The Trigun and the laser cannons.
Mm-hmm.
But just a thing I noticed, and again, this could obviously just be explained away by game design, because it's a game, but why don't the gigantic lasers hurt the other enemies that get caught up in it?
Ooh, good question.
That's, it seems like kind of bullshit. It seems like a bit of bullshit. But at the same time, it's a video game, and maybe I should just shut my stupid mouth.
Calling the bullshit card.
I have to call the bullshit card, because if I don't, who will?
No one.
No one.
Nobody.
I'm sorry if I'm doing it too much, you guys. Maybe I'm nitpicking.
No,
I'm absolutely nitpicking.
That's the greatness. Why it's so great. Of greatness of great things.
You know, it would be a really shitty supervillain. The Nitpicker.
Oh God.
He just like mildly criticizes everything you do. Like, I can't believe you chose to wear socks that don't match today. Are you kidding me with this bullshit? Get your act together, you pile of human garbage. Like, Nitpicker, that was harsh. I don't really feel so good anymore. He's like, yeah, you shouldn't. Go home and change your socks.
Get some sense of style.
Get some style. So says the Nitpicker. I'm out. I like that supervillain.
Yeah.
Just mildly harmful.
It'd be a good skit.
It would, right? But as we get into the end of this corridor, I think we have a bit of a divergence.
We do.
You and me.
We do.
So, do you want to go first?
Sure.
All right. Hit me with it. What happens?
So I walk into this boss room here.
Okay.
And who do I see?
Who?
None other than Double.
What's he doing there?
How
Double?
could he be in more than one place at the same time? Or something.
Maybe you're just seeing double. I'll see myself out of the podcast. Walking away.
Slamming the door. What's up? Come back.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, cool. So, X is like, Double, what are you doing here? And he's like, hee hee hee, ha 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 ha.
Weird response to that.
Oh shit, did you hear that?
Kind of. Not really, though.
I had an internet backstory in the background. Anyway. So,
it just pops up at the least expected times.
He's like, oh, Ripple Force is all idiots. The Maverick Hunters and all of them are idiots. That's what he was saying. He's like, X is like, what? I don't understand. And Double's like, just think about it. And then
Just think about it.
and then he's like, die. Die, X.
Just think about it. Except wait, you're dying.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So yeah. So then you see Double turn into his like Super Saiyan form,
Nice.
and he goes, "I'm so anxious to rip you apart."
Nice.
Yeah.
That seems pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm actually seeing a few other pre-battle lines here, if you don't
Oh, yeah?
mind. I'm gonna recycle you, and and ha ha ha, you're gonna get hurt, X.
Oh my god. What is this, high school?
Yeah, wait. Before he's like, you're gonna die, and like, nope, it's just gonna hurt you a little.
You're gonna get hurt a little bit, maybe.
Fair enough. So tell me about the fight.
So he has this one main attack where he just like jumps in the air and slams at you,
Okay.
and he yells out like "Evil Slam" or something like that.
Oh my god. I love it. That's just corny enough to work.
It's so corny. Oh my god! And he repeats it over and over. It's like Mortal Kombat or something.
Just goddamn, like too many times.
Yeah.
You need to stop.
Yeah. Exactly. He has this other attack where he
Okay.
yells "Destroy." And
Okay.
it's just like an orb, a blue orb. He just shoots at you.
Cool.
No big deal. Just dodge it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And that's basically it. So you just gotta keep dodging him. Oh, it's got this like beam of blue light or whatever that he shoots like once or twice, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Not too difficult. You take him out.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's done, right?
Basically, he was like, "Oh, I was sent here to spy on you." And
But who could have possibly sent him to spy on us? I have no idea.
and he's like, "That your naiveness may be your fatal flaw." And I was like, "Wait, naiveness? Is that a word?
Is it?
I thought it was
Naiveness?
naivety.
I think naivete. Yes, I believe that's the word.
Anyway,
Okay,
that's it.
very cool, man. And while we're on the subject, let's do a quick internet backstory for Double.
Internet backstory. All right.
Yes. So Double, or Daburu, is a supporting character as well as secondary antagonist for X. Posing as a rookie Maverick hunter, he quickly gained X's trust by acting as his operator during missions. But as X began infiltrating the final weapon, Double revealed his true purpose, as you had mentioned. After slaughtering several of X's own hunters in the 17th unit on Sigma's command, like we saw in that cutscene a while back,
Right.
Double then followed X to the final weapon after ranting maniacally about how he was using the Maverick Hunters, Reploids, and even the Mavericks themselves, and then attacks X.
All right.
Let's see. Here, he did appear in the Archie comics. Double was one of the numerous Mavericks duplicated by Sigma to form an army to battle Sonic the Hedgehog and Megaman. However, he and his fellow Mavericks were then attacked. What? Were then attacked by the then arriving fucking Street Fighters? What is this crossover?
Oh my god, that's the funniest crossover.
What is happening? We've crossed way too many universes. There's Sonic, and there's Mega Man, and there's Mega Man X, and there's Street Fighter now. What in the fuck is happening in this manga? My dudes. Yo, X streamers, seriously, if you find a place that I can get these comics on the cheap, please let me know. This is killing me. I have to know how the fuck they wrote these things to get these people all in the same room.
You gotta find them.
I'm gonna keep looking. A little bit of trivia. Double's sword arm and evil grin upon showing his true nature are similar to that of another Double agent / traitor that X and Zero team up with later, who I am not going to say right now because we'll cover this person in a later X game. Double has a short cameo appearance in the intro of X5. Double has a striking appearance to Dio Brando, a character from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I believe that is an anime.
Okay.
Both having a habit of bending over backwards. They have similar shoe wear and share a similar color scheme. Ironically, the group who developed Street Fighter 3 also developed the game JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Heritage for the Future.
Cool.
Yeah, interesting. So if anybody is a JoJo's fan out there, maybe you knew this before us, but I've never actually seen that anime.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bizarre. Maybe I'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
If I ever have time in my life.
One day.
One day. But that's Double's internet backstory.
Internet backstory. Right.
Very cool. And let me move on to my fight now,
Yeah, let's hear it.
where I end up fighting Iris?
Iris?
Yeah, I fought Iris. The like Zero's love interest.
Uh-huh.
So we enter the room and she's kind of standing there staring at this glowing purple orb. And then she says to Zero like that she finds out that we killed her brother. Oh shit. And then she like, what the hell happened? She just kind of fuses with this orb she's holding and then grows a robot mech suit that has wings. And
Okay.
then yells to Zero, "Forgive me, Zero!" as they begin fighting. Forgive me! But then this fight is kind of interesting. First off, the music that they play for this fight is very, very sad. It's like if you made the fight theme reluctant sounding, like I don't really want to be doing this right now.
Uh-huh.
But the fight itself is kind of interesting because you don't damage her by attacking her. You damage her by attacking the core that she fused with.
Okay.
But you can't get that core out until you attack her enough. So once you do, the core is exposed and you can attack that. But once you're hitting her, every time you hit her, mines shoot out from the body and try and home in on you. So the more you hit her, the more the screen fills up with mines. And they just kind of end up being a crazy clusterfuck of mines everywhere. And on top of that, she'll shoot a fucking gigantic laser beam at you.
That's crazy.
Like, Jesus Christ, Iris, this is intense.
Sounds pretty difficult.
Yeah, and so once that core is exposed, you have to start attacking that because that's the only thing that damages her. But then now the core can also fire laser beams at you, and it does like this crazy cross pattern to like pinpoint you wherever you are. So like if you're on the wall, it could like send a laser beam directly up the wall to fuck you over. It tries to like pinpoint your position and fuck you. But then you destroy the core and get a quick cutscene.
Ooh.
I get a cutscene where the craziest shit happens. This is one of those cutscenes that I think people have just seen and be one of those things they see on the interwebs just because it's an example of the best voice acting.
Oh, yeah.
So Iris is laying on the floor dying and asks us to live in a world where reploids only exist. And come to think of it, there's a slight undertone of racism there.
A little bit.
A little bit of robot racism. Just saying, Iris might be a little racist.
I guess so.
Yeah. Not great. But Zero snaps her out of that and saying, "It's only a fantasy, Iris. It's only a fantasy."
Only fantasy.
And oh, by the way, she has her Australian accent now, which I don't think she had it before. And
Okay.
just kind of noted now.
Now she has it.
Now she just has it for some reason.
Okay.
But then Iris just kind of smiles at Zero and dies. Not to like make that moment less impactful, but just it's what happens.
All right.
And then Zero kind of breaks down. It's like, Iris, 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 Iris. And he screams and has a fucking freak out. He's like, no, this isn't happening. I can't go on anymore. What am I fighting for?
Wow.
I think I did a pretty good rendition.
That is pretty intense.
Thank you. That was my rendition of the intenseness that they bring.
Zach Witter, everyone.
Thank you so much. Clap, 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 clap. But yeah, that is the cutscene and basically the end of Iris. But it is the beginning of Iris's internet backstory.
Internet backstory. Cool.
So much backstory all at once, yo.
Yeah.
But Iris, or Irisu, was Zero's navigator and love interest. She was also the younger twin sister of Colonel. They were twins?
Okay. I did not know that.
I did not know that either. Like her brother, she speaks an Australian accent. Blah, yada, yada. What? Okay. Repl Forces, here's a little history, which isn't on anything else. Repl Forces scientists attempted to develop an ultimate fighting Reploid with both high fighting spirit and a peace-loving heart, but the differences were ultimately considered irreconcilable, and the project was considered a failure. The science then decided to split them up into two Reploids, resulting in the creation, I can say words, of Iris and her brother Colonel. Her half was the peaceful arbiter, and Colonel's was the strong-willed fighter. Interesting.
Cool.
I'm getting a phone call.
Zach's getting a phone call. Zach's getting a phone call. This is a new segment.
Where Zach puts his phone on
Zach
vibrate.
gets a phone call.
Okay, sorry about that. Oh, whoever it is, I'll call them back. In X4, when Repl Force was labeled Mavericks, both X and Zero were assigned different missions to gather information. Iris assisted Zero. Yep, we saw that. We talked about that with the. Yep, we talked about that scene where he's overwhelmed with her death. Sigma later antagonized Zero by further revealing that his involvement in this whole ordeal, even taunting him by saying, "Iris is waiting for you. You fucking dick." There's a lot of shit here. I'm trying to just kind of digest it all at once.
Yeah.
She's in a few other games, Rockman Online and Project Cross Zone as supporting characters. She's also in the Archie comics. She was not cloned by Sigma. Zero noted that even though Sigma's minions were vast and plentiful, he did not bring back Colonel or Iris.
Okay.
A little bit of trivia.
Yeah.
Iris's final words in X4 would later be repeated by Megaman 02 and antagonist El Piso
Okay.
upon becoming Dark El Piso. Okay. I hope you guys heard that's my ringtone. That's my text message notifier. I guess I didn't put it on silent. Sorry
Zach
about
gets a text message.
What was that? It was like a slide whistle.
I had a recorder on my desk.
Why do you? Okay, I'm not gonna ask. Never mind. Why do you have a recorder on your desk?
Because I just brought it from home and I didn't put it anywhere.
Fair enough. In Iris's death scene that we described, it was later redubbed by Lucas Gilbertson, Zero's voice actor in X8, and Ashley Schroeder. The redub version is not an official production by Capcom, and Schroeder does not replicate the accent. Michelle Gaspis voiced with her originally, so no Australian accent.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Such a damn shame. But that's it for this. I'm definitely going to be coming back to Iris because she's in a few other games. But for X4, her segment of Internet Backstory.
Internet Backstory.
Love it. Can we have more recorder?
I should keep this on me every episode.
What? Yeah, why are we just discovering that you have this recorder now?
It's so funny.
Find ways to put this recorder in. It's fantastic. But we're on to the second part of Final Weapon here.
Yeah.
And there are two paths.
Finally,
Jesus.
Yeah.
We're going to go long on this episode.
Oh, yeah. We thought it was going to be short.
I thought it was going to be short, but there's so much shit to talk about now.
I know.
So part 2 here, there are two paths you can actually take now. There's a lower path and an upper path.
Yeah.
Let me talk about them. I went through them both.
Cool.
Just for y'all. So the lower path focuses more on precision platforming with some enemies sprinkled in.
Yeah.
So it's all about making sure you don't fall into the abyss or fall into the gigantic red and purple spinner in the background.
Whatever that is.
Is
Super distracting.
It's super distracting. Is somebody playing a gigantic game of Life? Like that spinner from Life, except it's only colored 2 different colors?
I get it.
Thank you.
Or roulette.
Nice. Air 5s. Delayed reaction.
It was an echo.
There's an echo. But yeah, then there's a eagle ride armor there, which is basically useless. Because you can...
I don't know why it's even there.
I don't know. You ride it for like a second, but every time... You can make it hover in the air, but every time it gets hit, it goes down a bit. And like it just doesn't help you.
No.
You have to just jump out of it anyway to get out.
I don't get why they put that there.
I don't know. It honestly just makes it harder.
Yeah.
But that's the lower path. And it converges with the upper path, which I will talk about now, which leads you to a menacing little spike wall in the beginning there, which is super cool.
Cool.
But this whole upper section is basically just spike haven. Tons of fucking spikes everywhere.
Yeah,
and enemies
I would take the bottom route.
Yeah, and there's spikes that their enemies are just trying to shove you into these spikes. And then on fucking top of that, there's gigantic Independence Day lasers in this stage too.
I know, they're everywhere.
Like, what the fuck, my dude?
Makes me
This is
want to watch
crazy.
Independence Day.
I know. We have a viewing party.
Ooh.
But that is both paths here. And then we get the red carpet treatment as we fight the General. Who is so big that they couldn't fit him into the fucking screen. So that he doesn't fucking pop in.
Yeah, that's so weird.
He just literally
like
pops
glitch.
in.
Little programming glitch, I think.
Yeah, it's just like... I hope that came through. He pops in.
Okay, yeah. Heard it.
There we go, thank you. And also the General, like, he just kind of stands up from his chair and it just bursts apart.
Yeah, like, why?
Well, I don't get that. What did he do? What did that chair do to him?
Like, that's his chair. Doesn't he want it?
Yeah, what if he wants to sit down again?
Yeah.
Was it? I figure it's very expensive to make gigantic chairs for this man.
Also,
why
do
would you
robots
destroy
need
it?
to sit down? Like,
maybe they get robo-tired. Their robo joints get old and need to oil them.
I guess so.
But as we begin here, there's a little bit of back and forth dialogue. Shall I read my transcript?
Do it.
And by transcript, I mean paraphrasings.
Please.
So, many died. They're on your conscience, dude. General's like, independence has a high price, yo. And Zero's like, what about Iris? You forget about her, dog? And, like, dude, Zero, I don't think you can blame Iris dying on the General, considering you killing her brother was kind of the reason why she went, like, crazy on you.
Mm-hmm.
So, not the best blame game here. The General's like, no regrets. Hashtag YOLO.
Hashtag YOLO, that's right.
That's basically what he says. But then we fight, and he has 3 lines of dialogue that he could say to you.
Well, first he says, show me your true power.
Yes.
Before
Yes.
the fight.
Yes. And then he could also say, it was our destiny to fight. Or, my fate is sealed. I have no choice.
No chase.
No choice.
I have
No choice. But, yo, he is the hugest motherfucker.
Oh my god, he takes up the whole screen.
We thought Frost Walrus was big. This guy dwarfs him. No fucking wonder he took orders from the General.
You gotta, like, go across the whole screen just to hit him once.
Yes, he's just nutso futso. You have to use his own arms as fucking platforms to get to his face, because you can only hit him in the head.
Yeah. That
He
means
is.
you have to.
I have to, because I have to get up close and personal, yo.
Yeah, X could hit him from far. It's still annoying, but yours must be even more.
It's pretty. It makes for an intense fight, and I'm not gonna lie, I did die a couple times on here, just because of his massive girth and his huge, like, area of damage.
Yeah.
Especially considering he has energy elbows that just shoot blue balls of energy at you.
Yeah.
He can ground stomp and shoots out energy beams when he hits the ground, and mild hovering.
Mild hovering, which is actually annoying because you have to climb up all the way to the top of the screen.
Yeah, because he can it's his form of ramming you, but it's like slow ramming.
Yeah.
You know?
He's so big that it's so slow, but still effective.
Very effective. But yeah, you take him out eventually. You really gotta it's like a battle of attrition. You really just gotta take it slow and fight him very conservatively.
Mm-hmm.
But after you beat him, he has his post-body battle damage, and it looks crazy. Like, his leg is missing, and his arm's off, and crazy shit, my dude.
Looks pretty intense. He's just gone through a lot.
He really has. And he's surprised now because the weapon started working without his help, and Zero's like, what the fuck, dude? And Gerald's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And Zero's like, I'm gonna go check this out. So he actually leaves the General alive.
Yeah, true.
So the General is not dead.
That is good information.
Maybe that'll come into play later.
Mm-hmm.
But as we wrap up here, we have one final internet backstory.
Internet backstory.
Nice.
Let's hear it.
You got like a frog in your throat.
No, it was rabbit.
Okay. Okay, the General, or the Gennaru, is the giant leader of Repliforce.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Actually?
That's all that's written.
Oh my god, that's so...
No, but there's a little bit more.
Okay.
Just for that intro segment.
No, I thought you were just gonna, like,
Just
say
end it
it,
there.
and then that's the end of it.
No, there's a little bit more. Once a sympathizer of human and Reploid peace, he was unwittingly manipulated by Sigma into declaring war on humanity and activating the giant destroyer satellite, the final weapon, as a way to get rid of them all. The resulting mayhem and confusion allowed for the double agent double to quietly wreak havoc everywhere. And yeah, basically recapping what happened in the game here. Once the supreme leader of Repliforce, he's shown what? Sorry, they wrote this weird. He has shown his true responsibility and honor. When Repliforce has been branded as a group of mavericks due to their appearance for help, at the Sky Lagoon by the Maverick Hunters. General gradually lost... who wrote this part? It's like I'm reading like a fucking crazy person.
Could be like a kid. It's wiki. You never know.
That's true. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like translate stupid into readable text. The general gradually lost his trust in by the humans, which made him push for a movement for Reploid independence. Only after he was defeated, he realizes that his organization has been used as a puppet, and admits that this was all a mistake.
All right.
Yeah, he has some lines here, which we'll probably end up finding out later, so I'm not going to talk about it now. And there's a little bit of trivia.
Yes.
Sigma's conversation with the general has small differences between the Japanese and English versions that could actually change the way the player interprets the general's own interpretation of Sigma's words. In the English localization, when Sigma asks the general if he believes the hunters are a threat, General responds with perhaps. However, in the original Japanese script, the general is silent until he dismisses Sigma. So it's kind of a different approach here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he's not really...
vibes.
Yeah, it's like he's not paying any heed to Sigma and not giving him a time of day in the Japanese version, but he's actually giving him a little bit of leeway in the English version.
Cool.
In the manga adaptation... I'm talking for too long.
The adaptation.
In the manga adaptation, the general takes on a more personal approach to Repliforce conflict. To that end, he destroys Frost Walrus after discovering the murders and atrocities he had committed in the name of Repliforce, saving X as a result, and we kind of mentioned that before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it for the general. So another internet backstory down the tubes.
Internet backstory. All right.
And that is gonna be it for this episode. And holy shit, we're running long.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, well, we're gonna wrap it up quick. So thank you all for listening so much. We really appreciate your help in helping the podcast grow and the YouTube channel grow and everything about us grow. Want to give a special shout out to Brandon, who is absolutely been helping us out so much in retweeting our things, the stupid shit that we say on Facebook or on Twitter. Thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And anything else that you guys can do, tell your friends about us. Tell your parents, tell your sisters, tell your brothers, tell your coworkers how fun it is to spend an hour of your day listening to two Canadian idiots talk about Megaman.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good story.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's something to bond over at the water cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again for listening. If you want to reach out to us, please, you can feel free to write us a review on iTunes, rate, comment, subscribe there. You can message us on Podbean or download us there. Google Play, we're on there now. If you want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email at itstheextreme@gmail.com.
That's right.
Or you can ping us at our Twitter at itstheextreme. Or you can see our weekly videos that I put out, where I kind of just put random pictures to the words that we say for
Plus
about an hour.
Some good overdubbing.
Yes, I do the best overdubbing sometimes. And yeah, you can leave comments there. Let us know about that. Subscribe to our YouTube page. But that's about it. And holy shit, I feel
We're
like a
at
shit.
an hour.
I'm talking way too much. Is there anything I missed?
No.
Great. So thanks again, guys, for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Do not forget to tune in, because this is a to-be-continued scenario.
Oh, yeah. That's
So
right.
we will see you guys next week.
Don't forget to write it down.